Welcome to Communing with Divine, a podcast where I share my spiritual quest and the lessons and the insights that I've received from many divine beings and energies during meditation. I am your host, Meraki. Now, let's begin. Hello and welcome back to Communing with Divine. I'm so happy that you're here. I just want to let you know that today's episode is a little bit longer than usual, but I hope that you'll find that it's worth the extra few minutes. So having said that, let's begin. October the 4th, 2023. Quite a while ago, the goddess Hecate talked to me about the power of the dew. It has the echoes of the power of the liminal spaces because it's formed during the in-between time. It's the physical representation of liminal space here because it forms between sunrise and sunset, between the changeover from darkness to light. So the goddess Hecate told me that the dew is very, very powerful. In the early hours of this morning, I experienced the divine waterfall, which I spoke about in the last episode. Later on, I went outside to sit on my front porch, and as I was doing this, I noticed that in the shadow of a large tree, there was an area where the sun had not shone on yet, and there was dew there. And so I went to my herb garden, where I grow medicinal and spiritual herbs, which is around the back, and the house blocks the early morning sun. And I saw that there was dew there as well, so I decided to collect some. I went through my herb garden and I shook dew off of every herb. And as I was collecting the dew from my garden, which I consider sacred space, I heard a caw, and I looked up to see a single raven flying over my head. It made one sound, one note, to give me the warning that was flying over so that I would look up and notice it. It flew from west to east, almost directly. I checked with my compass afterwards and found that it was almost exact. It made no more sound other than a single caw. It didn't land in any of the trees around me. It flew directly onward and with speed. The minute this happened, I knew it was a message, a sign. A single solitary raven, a large raven calling to me as it flew over my head, flying from west to east. So I decided to look it all up and see if there was any symbolic meaning that I could find within this. I find it extraordinary that this happened at the exact moment that I'm collecting dew for the first time in my life as directed by the goddess Hecate, on the same morning as I experienced the divine waterfall, right after being cleansed. So this is an abridged version of what I found. The raven. The raven symbolizes the gift of insight, heightened awareness, and a higher level of consciousness. It symbolizes wisdom, transformation, foresight, the underworld, the mystery of life and death, and the enigma of God's will or divine will. It symbolizes death and rebirth, being born anew and starting anew. The West symbolizes completion, the definitive understanding of our own mortality, the moving from ignorance to understanding as we evolve to become our most sage self. The East. The East is spiritual awakening, the awakening of our higher self, new beginnings, moving to a higher level of consciousness, awareness, and spiritual wisdom. I think that's pretty amazing. October the 24th, 2023. I haven't been great about meditating recently, but we're going to see what happens. I prepared myself and the mighty ones are here. We're walking to the cliff. From the top of the cliff, everything seems like it normally does. So we go down to the sand. I feel like it's been so long since I've been there. I'm going to go and change into my robe. My belt seems to have other symbols on it today. This is odd because I haven't been here, so I'm not sure why I would have more symbols. I turn and I bow to the archangels, and their faces suddenly look strange. If I didn't know them so well, I think I would find them kind of scary, I guess. I walk through the curtain of energy, which is a liminal space in and of itself, and I enter into the cave of the goddess Hecate. It's somewhat dark in here today. There are 3 huge figures, and I know who they are. They are the goddesses. I bow to them, and I apologize for not coming sooner. The goddess Hecate asks, "Why have you not come?" And I answer that I had doubts. She asks, "What is it that you have doubted?" So I explain, I had doubts that I was hearing you clearly. I had doubts that I could continue this, that my connection would remain clear and pure. Obviously, it was fear. The goddess Hecate says, "And so you retreated. You stumbled in the face of fear." I did, and for this I apologize. The goddess Hecate asks, "What did you learn from this fear?" I learned that it was empty. I learned that it was ego. I learned that it was something that I had been taught, that it had no merit. And I learned that I miss coming here. I miss connecting with all of you. The goddesses step forward, and their faces too are terrible, but I am not afraid. The goddess Hecate says, "And yet you do not fear us." No, I do not fear you. I do not fear the archangels. I feel nothing but love for all of you and from all of you. Their faces return to normal. The goddess Hecate says, "And so you should feel the same in the face of your own fears. Observe your own fears as you observed us now. Approach your fears with truth, and they will dissolve before you. For nothing can stand in the light of truth that is not truth. This you must know. This you must believe." We are all walking together through the back of the cave, through the wall. I look back and I see the cave is now lit with many candles. We are walking to the crossroads. I can see myself standing at the crossroads. It's time for me to leave the past behind, all that no longer serves me. Everything that has already played its part in my life. They want me to be here for this. They want me to do it in an active way, in a conscious way. I'm in the center of the crossroads, and I'm going to look behind me. And behind me, I see my old life and all of those people who have filled it, those who are still here and those who have passed on. I see the things that have filled my life and the activities. I see many stages of me throughout the years, different stages, different ages. When I was afraid or sad, and many when I was happy because I did something that someone else wanted and they were pleased with me, not because of an internal happiness, but because of external praise. It's time for me to leave this all behind. So I'm bowing and I'm thanking all of it, all of my past. I'm saying thank you for bringing me to this point. I release you all with love and with appreciation. And now I'm going to step forward on my path. I see many other things. I'm happy within myself. I see a new home and new friends. I see me doing my work. I am at peace. I am free of the past. The Watcher, the Wise One, is here. He always walks with me on my paths. He says, "Come, we will walk." We leave the goddesses behind. They seem to be cleansing my past. My path has gone from a liminal space of nothingness into, well, I don't know, it's surrounded by grass. There is countryside, and I can see the sea. Rocks that are quite beautiful, and we're coming to the top of a mountain or a tall hill. And my path goes down into this valley that's full of mist. I can't see the valley because of the mist. And I think that's the point. The adventure of not knowing, the excitement of that, the trust. The Wise One stays at the top of the hill watching over me, and I continue down into the mist. I'm below the mist now. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful valley, full of wonderment and adventure. I can't see specifics. I'm standing too high above it, but I am pleased. I continue walking. I can see the goddesses now. They're smiling. I am now with them. The goddess Hecate says, "And so it has begun. The period of transition has passed. You have entered into a new dawn, a new way. This you must honor, for in honoring this, you give yourself life. Aletheia says, "Fear not, child, for all is well. This you must always remember." The goddess Mary says, "From here you will begin a deeper journey within. Be prepared for much change. Be prepared for greater understanding. Approach with your mind open. Judge not. Much will come." I want to keep walking down into the valley. The goddess Hecate says that I will always be walking forward as long as I choose. I'm watching myself walking down into the valley from this perspective, and then it's time to go back to the cave. We enter into the cave. It's very bright. The goddesses stand around me. The goddess Aletheia says, "Know that it has begun, child. Know that you have come through that liminal space where you dwelled for so long. Know that you have moved through it, and so you have done well." I give them all a hug and I say thank you so much. I go out of the cave. It's very bright outside. The archangels are all there and they look normal again too. I'm going to go and change. We walk down the beach and I can see the geometric shapes, the white geometric shapes under the sand. We're rising up to the cliff. It's beautiful today. I turn and I wave to the goddesses before we walk away. October 31st, 2023. It's a liminal time, so I'm going to go and see the goddess Hecate and the other goddesses. I'm standing as a light being today. The archangels, the mighty ones, are around me. I'm large and I'm luminous. I can feel that I'm connected to the all. I'm very much in my soul form. I stand more as my true self. My body has an outline. It definitely has somewhat of a shape, but it's made up of that moving, luminous, ethereal light that also contains darkness in the spaces and the places in between. It's almost mist-like. And in truth, there is no form to it. It moves somewhere between the way that water and mist move, a bit like a lava lamp. It has its own luminescence and its own peaceful darkness. It's beautiful the way it moves, graceful, like a dance. This ethereal energy is only contained, quote unquote, within the physical forms of our body because it chooses to be. We are here by choice. We are contained in our bodies by choice. I'm surrounded by many, many beings, and they're all in this form of a dancing ethereal luminescence. There is so much movement and a sense of peace. I see something in the distance. I'm going to leave this group of luminescent beings. The mighty ones and I are going to walk towards what I see. We walk through the darkness. I can look back and I can see these luminescent beings. The darkness is dark, but I can still see. It's almost like a wormhole. I'm not sure if that's the right terminology, but as I stand here, I feel that I'm supposed to go into it, which is fine. I'm not afraid. I go into the wormhole with the mighty ones. It's not bad in here at all, but you have to stay calm. You can't let fear in. I find myself standing in my dad's old bedroom from when he was a kid. I've never actually been there. I've only seen pictures of it. It is such a lovely room, and I can see him. He's reading a book. I'm going to go over close to him. He's really cute at this age. Everything in the room looks normal, as it should be. But as I look out towards the door where the hallway should be, I realize that beyond this room, there is no house. The hallway is the wormhole. The mighty ones are standing by the door at the mouth of the wormhole. It's time to go. I won't disturb my dad. I don't want to scare him. I don't know why I saw that, but I have to tell you, it made me really happy. I step back into the wormhole. There is a sense of movement in the wormhole, and yet you're not moving. There's this sense of falling and twisting and turning, but I feel as if I myself am not moving. I feel that it is the wormhole that is moving around me. The wormhole was in motion when I stepped into it, and the wormhole continues to be in motion around me as I remain in the same quote-unquote spot. But even though I'm remaining in the same spot, I find myself in different places because the wormhole is moving. I'm not sure if this makes any sense in my description, but it's sort of like a space-time thing, I think. I don't understand it, but I can explain it. So the wormhole moves around me. And as it moves around me, I have access to different things, different places, different present moments. I can go to different places and different snapshots in time, the present moments, just like I did with my dad. But I myself am not actually moving. It doesn't make sense to me, to my mind, but it feels easy to accept as truth. And now I'm being shown that the end of this wormhole brings me to the cliff and the cave of the goddess Hecate. And this is where I find myself. I go down to the beach. It feels as if we're just a few minutes to sunrise, but a lot can happen in a few minutes. I look down as I walk across the sand. I can see the white geometric shapes. I'm coming to the rocks. I'm going to change now. I put on my belt. I have keys and symbols and that little pouch. I hug the archangels and I walk through the curtain of energy. The cave is illuminated with candlelight. All three goddesses are here within the cave. I greet the goddesses and I thank them for seeing me. They reply, "You are welcome. Why have you come today, child? I missed you, and it's the time of liminal space, Samhain, so I came to learn." The goddess Hecate says, "You have already learned much during your journey here." And I reply, "Yes, it was amazing." The goddess Hecate says, "You must ponder your perceptions of the movement of the wormhole and your perceived lack of movement in the same way that you pondered a decision made. You must now bring your focus to this." The goddess Aletheia says, "The other day you were given an opportunity to speak about truth with another, to see and to understand what they believe is truth, what they believe the path to truth is. Remember, there is much to learn within the physical realm, as you did in this conversation. Continue to listen. Continue to observe. Sit in a place of stillness as you did. Watch and listen. Learn. Learn from the thoughts and the words of others, the emotions and reactions of others and of yourself. For there is much to learn from observing that will bring you towards truth, for it will bring you closer to awareness. Remain always aware. Sit in stillness." The goddess Mary says, "There are many mysteries. These mysteries are paths that lead to truth. The mysteries are a map. The mysteries are filaments that are somewhat elusive, and there is movement to them. They are not static. The question you must ponder and bend your mind towards is there only the one truth? Is truth something that is solid, that is unmoving, or is truth fluid? Does truth evolve? Does it change? Is truth in movement? Is it an elusive dance, or is it a solid structure that remains forever unchanged? For what is the point of the experience if the experience does not bring awareness? And what is the point of awareness if it does not bring enlightenment? What is the point of enlightenment if it does not affect the ultimate truth? Human beings in their thinking can be very rigid. This rigidity leads them to believe that truth is unchanging, because for many, truth is a goal, and a goal must remain in place in order to be attained and possessed. For some, the search for truth is from the heart. For many, the search for truth is from ego, from fear. But if truth is dynamic, in motion, then there is never one truth to be attained. There is never one answer, for the answers evolve. Truth evolves. Truth evolves with experience. Truth evolves with awareness. Truth evolves in the seeking. Those who search for truth with fear, those who see truth as a goal, cannot grasp this one truth. They cannot hold it. They cannot attain it. It cannot be theirs to possess, and this brings more fear. It is the search for understanding, the search for truth. That is the goal. It is the path that is the goal. For where the path leads is something no human can know. For to attain this ultimate truth, you must transform. I'm being shown people who are in their soul form, in the form of their true self, merging as they walk from different paths to this one center place. It's like a huge ball of soul energy, and it's in motion, it's moving. I believe I'm being shown the level of truth as we merge with the one that we can attain as humans within this program, within this universe. But there is much more. There is much more truth that can be attained beyond this program, this reality that we are in. It seems to me that within this universe, we don't have the ability to access the ultimate truth. I think back to what Source said when I asked, what is the purpose of all of this? Why do we go through this? And Source replied, we are a curious mind. I think that statement is linked here to what I'm being shown somehow. The goddess Mary says, think to this. Think to what I have said. Think to why there may be a desire for a single, unmoving, unchanging truth. For many answers will come from this. The goddess Hecate says, the liminal spaces are places of your quest. They are the filaments. You may walk along them or you may pass through them. Think more to the liminal spaces, their purpose. Much understanding and much knowledge will come from this. Why do they exist? You must ask yourself, why do they exist? Why are they necessary? What role do they play? How do they serve? From this, much knowledge will come. I thank them all and I wish them a happy Samhain. They say, you are welcome, child. I turn to leave. I go through the curtain of energy. The archangels are here, the mighty ones. The sun is beginning to come up now, and I change. It's funny, I was luminescent until I went to go put on my robe, and once I did that, I went back to being in normal human form. But now that I've taken my robe off again, I'm luminescent again. I don't understand this at all, but it's amazing. We walk down the beach. The sun is so beautiful. We rise up to the top of the cliff. I turn back to the cave, and I bow to the goddesses. Now, just to quickly explain about the reference that the goddess Alethea made earlier about a conversation that I had about truth with another person. So very quickly, I spoke with a person who believed that they had found truth, the whole thing, and that no other truth existed or had any validity. And when I questioned them as to how they could know this beyond any doubt, their response was to become angry and aggressive. I didn't question their truth because I was never told what it was. I only asked about the how, not the what. Their explanation rambled on and on. They know it was truth because they have a guru who's a great teacher. They've studied with this guru for 13 years. They had read many books, etc., all rapid-fire statements. There was no room for discussion or for questions. And the more calm and centered I remained, the angrier this person became and the more irrational. And as I observed this person, I saw raw fear in his eyes and in his face. His anger came from fear. I could hear it in his voice. And I found this sad, but also very enlightening. Anyway, I thought it would be helpful to explain this so that you would have a frame of reference for the comment that she made. October 31st, 2023. I just finished a session, the one I shared with you. And I turned and looked at the clock, and it was 6:45 a.m. and still dark. And this made me think of light and darkness and the dynamics here on Earth. And I felt in my head that everything in this world, this reality, is an insight into truth that is waiting to be noticed or discovered. Everything has a message. Everything. If we put humans aside for a minute and just consider the natural Earth, the solar system, the universe, and all that exists within it, seen and unseen, known and unknown, recognized and unrecognized, all are insights into truth, into the mysteries. But we mostly ignore them. We don't see them as the precious gifts that they are for our learning and our understanding. We just ignore them for the most part, or we appreciate them without understanding their significance. We don't see the clues, the information. It's all there. It's not just a physical reality or a physical existence. It's a physical reality built with a purpose. It's a physical existence designed for a purpose. None of it is arbitrary. Our experiences may seem arbitrary, and we may choose things or things happen to us that might appear arbitrary. But the physical reality within which we play out our experiences are with purpose and for purpose. And this last session has also made me think about the conversation that I had with that man about truth. And that got me thinking about fear, because that seems to be the commonality. It's a theme that seems to be running through everything. Like control, for example. Control comes from fear. We want to control the people and the situations around us because we're afraid that things won't go the way we believe they should go. Or we might get hurt, or the people we love might get hurt. Or we might lose money or things or social status. Name it, and there is a fear. We want to control our environment and our reality. And what's really crazy is that the fear is in the eye of the beholder and in the mind of the experiencer. What might be a positive thing for one person may be a deep fear for another. For example, one person might seek closeness and intimacy, while another person would fear it. Some people have a terrible fear of heights, while others jump from planes and scale mountains. Some have social anxiety, while others thrive in social situations. Pick a fear, and you will find one who is filled by it and another who is devoid of it. But at the root of all of these expressions and manifestations of fear is the fear that comes from the illusion of our separation from the all. All other fears spring from this. All other fears are creations that express this core fear. We have to try to remember that we're not separated in truth, and so fear is unnecessary. My thoughts are jumping around from thing to thing, and I'm going back to the conversation that I had with the angry man who claimed to know truth. This person needed to think that they knew and that they followed the one truth and the only truth. And I was thinking about the many other people in groups who feel the same way, that only they hold truth and there is only one definitive truth. And it just seems absurd to me. So perhaps there is no definitive truth. Maybe there only is the what is, the all. Perhaps within the consciousness of the all, at that level, all exists without a need for what we call truth. Because it seems to me that truth, as we define it and experience it, is finite and filtered through the eye of the beholder, through the filter that is the experience of each individual. We need truth because we're in a human form. If we accept that everyone is on their own journey while they're here, learning their own lessons in their own unique way, a way that is unique to each and every one of us, then why would we think that spiritual truth has to be one path for everyone, the same singular path that leads to one truth? It doesn't make any sense. The whole purpose, if you subscribe to this way of thinking, the whole purpose is that everything is unique and tailored to the individual based on our need to understand and grow. So surely the path and the truth that you learn along that path will be different, even if it's just slightly different. And surely we can't think that the ultimate end of whatever energy we ultimately are a part of requires truth at all, requires explanation, requires a reason. Surely the ultimate energy of the all is beyond that. It just exists because it is, with no need for explanation, no reasons given, and no truth. I'll have to see what the goddesses think about this. November the 1st, 2023. It's early morning. Yesterday was Samhain, and I was invited to a friend's house for a little ceremony of releasing. But I have questions about what I saw and experienced. I've called in the Archangel Michael to ask him to help me to understand. During the ceremony, this friend said something about calling in our ancestors, but I don't work with my ancestors. But I thought I would give it a try anyway, so I did, and I don't think I saw my ancestors. I saw a huge crowd of people who were all talking at the same time. I couldn't hear their individual words at all because they were talking all at once and very fast. And then I saw a friend of mine who had passed over, and that was odd because she's not an ancestor. And I don't know what any of this meant, especially all of the people who were talking to me. After I explained all of this, the Archangel Michael said that I needed to speak to the goddess Hecate because the people that I saw were within a liminal space. And I saw them during Samhain, which is a liminal time of the year. So that's what we're going to do. The mighty ones are with me now, and so we go. We're at the cliffs. We go down to the sand. Things seem a bit more damp for some reason. And what's really weird is that suddenly I feel as if I'm looking at myself and that I'm already wearing my black robes. My lips are black, which is odd, and I feel as if I have some of the other tattoos on my hand that the goddess Hecate has. This is really interesting. Everything seems kind of just darker somehow and damp. It's like I'm looking through a veil. I'm entering the cave. As I enter the cave, I find that I do have a thin veil on my head in front of my face. I'm going to pull that back off of my face. The candles are lit. I know that the goddess is here. She's just in that part of the cave where I can't see her, but I'll address her. I send a greeting to the goddess Hecate, and she comes forward into the candlelight. Welcome. Why have you come? I have some questions, things that I don't understand. She seems slightly amused by my statement, and then she says, "There is much that you do not understand." She didn't say it in a mean way, just in a matter-of-fact way. I think it's kind of funny, actually. So I answer, yes, this is true, but for why I came, there are things I don't understand that happened during Samhain. Speak. Okay, during this ceremony, I was to call my ancestors, and I did, but that's not who came. Many, many people, too many to count, came to me, but they were not ancestors, I don't think. They were not physical anymore, but it seemed as if they had not fully passed either. And they were all speaking, all at the same time, very fast. And I saw a friend who is no longer alive in my reality, and she came forward to me. But I don't know why. She didn't say anything. I don't understand any of it, and I was hoping that you might help me. The goddess Hecate considers me for a moment, and then she says, "Come." We are walking together, passing through the cave wall. We are walking a long way. We're coming to a place that isn't as dark as the place we just walked through, and there is a sea of people. They're in this liminal space that's like a limbo, but it's different again. There are some who seem content here, and there are some who appear to be completely not self-aware. I asked the goddess Hecate, why? Why did these people come to me? And she responds, as you walk the liminal space and become aware of them and all that exists within them, that which exists within them becomes aware of you, especially during the time of the thinning of the veil. Then she asks me, what happened before your vision? Well, I was standing by the fire, and I could see myself almost starting to fall asleep on my feet. That's when they came. The goddess Hecate says, and so you were entering another state. You were not fully awake and alert, nor was it dream time. You were in the space in between. Those who came to you are confused about the liminal space that they inhabit. They are unaware of how to move through the liminal space. It is for this reason that they sought you out. But what about my friend, I ask. Your friend walks within the liminal space by choice, for she was a witch, and as such, she entered the liminal space often and was an acolyte of it. Think to it again. The goddess Hecate is asking me to think back to that moment again. And as I do, I remember she was silent. She looked for nothing from me. The goddess Hecate says, for she is at home within the liminal space and wants for nothing. She is not trapped within the liminal space. She returns to it by choice. It is the others who believe that they are lost. I see. May I ask also about this dark robe and the veil and the tattoos on my hand? The goddess Hecate says they are representative of your learning. They chart your progress and your ability to connect with the liminal spaces, to enter them, but not be defined or restricted by them. I thank the goddess Hecate, and we return to the cave, which is bright. It seems much brighter than before. I give her a hug and I thank her. And I say that I may have more questions about today at some point. The goddess Hecate says, you may ask them when they come to you. I'm stepping through the veil. I'm back to my regular clothes. Everything seems brighter and dry, as it always is. The archangels are looking amazing. We walk to the edge of the cliff face and we rise up. I turn and I bow to the goddess. As always, thank you all so much for being with me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode and that you'll join me for the next one. And until then, have a great day.